Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. I know it's been 10 days since I posted my last video. I'm really going to try and pick it up. I've just been so bogged down with some work at college right now, but we're 40 days out from the presidential election, and I'm going to be making a 40 days out election prediction. As I previously said, I'm going to be making predictions as every 10 days passes down to 10, and then we'll do a 5 day out prediction, and then we'll do a 1 day final prediction away from the election or the day of, one of the two. Um, and yeah, we're gonna have an October surprise probably coming up in a few weeks. 40 days, of course, is only about 5.5 weeks. Maybe closer to 6 weeks, but at the end of the day, we are very, very close to the next presidential election in the United States of America. And for me personally, it seems as if 2020 was a very short time ago compared to previous 4 year gaps in elections. Um, I don't know. It seems like Joe Biden just won that election, or not just won it, but like it does not seem as if President Biden's been president for 4 years. In my opinion, it's gone by pretty quickly. The time has gone by pretty quickly, but here we are at another presidential election between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. It was going to be a rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, except after Biden's horrific debate performance, many people in his party, high ranking government officials like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and former President Obama, Hillary Clinton, other people, basically forced Joe to drop out of the race because they just did not think that he could win the election. Kamala Harris, as the vice president, was essentially promoted to the nominee of the party, and now she is running for president with Tim Walz as her vice presidential nominee. Of course, the VP debate is also coming up, I believe, on October the 1st. While the VP debate will never affect the election, JD Vance could do a horrible job, or Tim Walz could do a horrible job as well. Um, and it wouldn't change any real minds. The outcome of the election would remain effectively the same. However, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be an exciting debate to watch, especially for people that love politics, that are interested in it. This debate coming up with Vance will be very substantive. If it was between Vance and Shapiro, it would be a very substantive debate. I think Vance will probably beat Tim Walz on substance, and but we'll see what happens. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless. Anyway, let's get into this election prediction. With safe Harris states, it's going to be the usual, as well as Colorado. Colorado at this point has become a safe Democrat state. For the sake of the prediction, of course, we'll include states like New Jersey and New York. Well, people said previously that they were not going to be competitive, or not, I mean, excuse me, they were not going to be safe. Just in terms of margins, they may not be as big of a margin as DC, but they'll be safe Democrat states, safe Trump states, safe Republican states. The usual, getting up to I think 149. He previously was at 125, but including the states of Iowa, Ohio, and main second congressional district, which I now classify as safe for Trump in this election, that gets him to 149 electoral votes. So 191 to 149, Harris has a pretty substantial advantage over Trump at the moment, 42 electoral votes. However, still a lot to be said, and Trump's going to get a lot of likely states in his favor. The state of New Mexico will be likely in favor of Kamala Harris, as well as the state of New Hampshire will be likely for her. She's been doing pretty well in the polls there, as well as Maine's at-large district. Leaving the state of Virginia out of this for now, when we look at those recent polls out of Virginia, most recent poll, with Harris only leading by 2 points, the early voting numbers in Virginia are horrific for Kamala Harris. If that actually keeps up, it could possibly, like, I don't think Virginia is going to go Democratic, but it could possibly be a lean state, or be a very small margin victory for Harris. And that's why I'm putting in the lean category at the moment. Now anything can change, but we'll characterize that in a minute. Likely Trump states. This will be the state of Texas and the state of Florida. That's going to be it for likely Trump states. Texas, of course, trending more left, Florida trending more right. However, they're still around the same margins at the moment. And Trump will win both Texas and Florida by likely margins at the end of the day. Especially when you look at DeSantis's victory in 2022, where he won by almost 20 points, compared to Trump in 2020, where he won by 3 points in 2016. Trump only won by about 1.5. And then Obama won it back in 2012 against Mitt Romney. It has trended substantially to the right, which is very positive development for the Republicans, because it previously was a toss-up state. Texas, of course, has moved more to the left. However, it seems as if like that trend is kind of capped off at about R plus 5 to 10 margin in that state. But we'll see what happens over the next, 15 to 20 years. Kamala Harris, for actually, also the state of Minnesota will be likely for Kamala Harris getting her to 212. Lean Kamala Harris states. This will be the state of Virginia will be lean in favor of Kamala Harris, as well as the state of Michigan. Those are going to be the only two lean states in favor of Kamala, and Maine second, and Nebraska second congressional district. If they don't change that, which they probably won't at this point, because um, one of the Republican representatives says he won't vote to do that, which is one of those key swing votes. But yeah, lean North Carolina for Republicans. Georgia is going to lean in favor of Republicans, as well as the state of Nevada. In my opinion, Donald Trump will win all three of those states. I know that people were saying that Trump is or Harris is competitive in North Carolina. At the end of the day, I just don't think that she'll win that state. I know people think she could with Mark Robinson and his scandal. I certainly don't think he'll win the governorship in North Carolina. But Trump, on the other hand, performs very well in North Carolina compared to toss-up states, other toss-up states. In 2020, that was one of the few that he won. And in 2012, Mitt Romney, North Carolina, was one of the few toss-up states that he won against Barack Obama. So it is, while it's a toss-up state, it usually tends to slightly edge out the Republicans in that area. Um, Tilt Harris states. State of Wisconsin will tilt in favor of Kamala Harris. This is subject to change, of course. Trump has historically been underestimated in the polls, and if the underestimation is anywhere close to what it's historically been, Trump will win Wisconsin. But I'll keep that as a tilt Harris state for the moment. For Trump, Arizona, I think, will tilt in his category. He's performing pretty well among Hispanics. Harris is not doing as well as people previously expected. Um, and yeah, I think he'll win the state of Arizona. And I think that Donald Trump will win the state of Pennsylvania, getting him to 287 electoral votes, winning the presidency against Kamala Harris in an historic political comeback. Nobody really expected Donald Trump. If you went back to, say, January 6th, they thought that his political career is over. He was going to be impeached. He was going to be prosecuted. He was prosecuted, but he was done. And even at the beginning of the Republican primary, they thought that DeSantis would be the nominee. Here he is. If he ends up winning this election, going on to be the next president of the United States in a non-consecutive term as president. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know your thoughts on this prediction in the comments below, and stay tuned for more videos. Have a good day.